Then we'll bring this fool in. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Your name's not Buttfucker3000, you yo-ho. Logging into my court with that as your screen name.
Why
We'll
would that?
discuss that in a little bit.
I,
What kind of idiot logs into court like that? What's your name again?
Nathaniel Saxton, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's what it says.
Why,
We'll
I
discuss
apologize.
that in a bit.
That should not
Yeah,
be.
you should. I'll put you in the waiting room. You can sit in limbo for a while and think about what you call yourself online.
I know that clip you just saw is not really a sovereign citizen. It's just an idiot who knows if he wrote it on there on purpose or left it on there. More likely he put that on there for some reason, maybe just cutting up with his buddies and forgot it was on there. That's my theory on that. But when you go to court, and I haven't gone to court a lot of times, and I haven't for 15 years. I haven't even been in a courtroom. Actually, more than that. But anyway, when you go to court, and this is something I learned years ago as a child, even from my parents, you wear nice clothes. You don't go in there with shorts on, a t-shirt, you know, scruffy, looking unkempt. I know you have a right to express yourself under the First Amendment, but in court, the more respect you show the judge, the better the judge will favor towards you. It's just like these sovereign citizens when they get pulled over. If they were polite to the officer and not confrontational, their problems wouldn't have escalated to where they have. This person's going to court for failure to have driver's license, insurance, and tags in the state of Michigan, I believe. So let's just get into it.
Represent myself. You ready? Ms. Boyd, will you please turn your camera on? Now calling the people versus Erica Bowie. Ticket number P137582. Count 1, drive while license suspended. Count 2, no insurance, misdemeanor. And count 3, improper place. Ms. Boyd, will you please state your appearance for the record?
Yes, all rights reserved for the record.
Now here she's claiming her name is all rights reserved. Believe it or not, that's how she's claiming who she is.
For the record, I am out of. Excuse me, I've been waiting a long time. I'm just trying to get my.
All right, Ms. Bowie, are you being represented? Are you requesting counsel time?
Pardon me?
Do you have an attorney to represent you today?
I am standing in as the beneficiary of Erica Bowie. I am not of this jurisdiction. I proclaimed my status in 2016 and documents forward to the board to state this, to let you know that I am a part of League of Indian Nations. I am not of this jurisdiction, and I ask that the case be dismissed.
Okay. The dismissal is denied. Will you state your name for the record?
All rights reserved.
Are you stating your name for the record? Or are you refusing to state your name for the record?
For the record, all rights reserved is what I go by. I am standing in as the beneficiary of Erica Bowie.
Okay, so Ms. Bowie, the name, this is the name,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Judge, but there's some feedback or something that as I'm writing, I hear the sounds. If that can be turned down, does someone have a TV? Okay, I don't hear anything right.
I think that's just her background.
I believe it's feedback from, yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Bob. Sorry for interrupting.
Now, when the judge asks you to state your name, or they'll state your name and ask you to if that's you. Either way, that's for the court record. It isn't like the traffic stop. I mean, that doesn't work out for you either, not giving your name. But when you're in court, you have to give your name because they need to have a record of the court, a written record, so they need to say that person was there. Even though the judge and other parties there may already know who you are, it has to be stated in court. And that has to be stated as it's written on the docket. If that is not you, then you have to go to the court clerk and prove that that's not you. Or however, I've never had dealt with anything like that. I don't know anybody who has. Sometimes they misspell people's names and they can even get thrown out of court if your name is incorrectly on the docket in some states and some instances, but not all. But you do have to state your name. That is a requirement in court. And by this woman refusing to do so, it's not going to go over very well.
Okay. So do we have you, Miss Erica Bowie? Are you stating that your name is Erica Bowie for the record? You have it.
There are multiple people talking. I'm sorry, Judge, but there's someone talking at the same time. I apologize.
No worries. We just have to wrap up a call in the courtroom.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we have on the Zoom, we have an appearance that states Erica Bowie as your name. Is your name Erica Bowie?
My name is Bowie L.
Okay, so as you named yourself, did you name yourself on the Zoom as Erica Bowie?
No, your clerk changed the name.
Okay, and so unless we have an actual Erica Bowie in the courtroom or an attorney appearing on behalf of Erica Bowie on the
I am the beneficiary of Erica Bowie. I am standing for Erica Bowie.
Now, we all have a legal name. If you live in the United States and in most countries, you have a legal name. That is how you're identified in the court system. People can change their name, but if you change your name, it has to be, they have the phrase legally changed. My name was legally changed to such and such. If your name is not legally changed, then it is a name that your social security number's under, that all your pertinent information's under. See, people could commit crimes and then change their names. Oh, I'm not guilty of that crime because that crime was committed by Todd Smith, and I'm Smith Todd. So that's not me, you know. My name's lowercase, you know, uppercase, whatever that bullshit. The case doesn't really matter. That's a technicality or that some of these people hang on to. But you have a legal name, and that's the name you use in court. What is your legal name? Not whatever name you made up through your religion you joined or anything like that, or any group that you joined. You get a new nickname. That's your nickname, not your actual legal name. Unless you get your legal name changed, you have to use your legal name in court. Just about everybody knows that.
So I'm going to ask one more time if Erica Bowie is in the courtroom before we issue a KBS. If Erica Bowie is in the courtroom, not the beneficiary of Erica Bowie, but actually Erica Bowie needs to be in appearance in this courtroom today.
Well, this is what they wrote the ticket up under.
The judge is duty bound to follow procedures. The lawyers follow procedures. As a layman in court, you may not know all these procedures, but there are procedures, and she cannot go on until she has you verified the name, your legal name, not this new name you made up, some fictitious thing or whatever. It has to be your legal name.
Okay. I showed the police officer all my papers and documentations as well. And this is what they wrote up. It should be in the docket, all my documentation and my identification with League of Indian Nation, my proclamation, my notarized letter from the state of Michigan stating I am not a corporation.
Well, nobody's claiming you're a corporation. I remember when the Patriot movement, when they would tell people to make themselves a corporation, that way they're, but now it's changed a little bit. I guess that didn't work out for them in the past. But this League of Indian Nations is actually a Canadian organization. She says League of Indian Nations of North America. That's an organization out of Canada, so it's not even a U.S. organization. I don't even know if they verify if you're Native American to join it, but I know that's the purpose of the organization, and it has nothing to do with giving you immunity in court. So just because you have paperwork you belong, and they love their paperwork. I mean, when cops pull them over, they're always wanting cops to read it. If you're a police officer, don't even waste your time reading their nonsense. They believe it, and they carry this stuff around as this is proof of my rights. Their rights to break the law, to be above the law, that the law doesn't apply to them. They do this for child custody cases. These people don't even pay taxes. So they don't even pay for the services that they, But anyway, let's just go on.
Verified by Benson. And also, it was 4 pieces of documents. Oh, and a picture of my ID with League of Indian Nations.
Showing your identification with the League of Nations is no different than showing your identification from your high school. I remember when I was in high school way back when, so I'm sure they still do it today. We got an identification card with our picture on it. It was taken the first day of school. Every year when you pick your classes, you also get your student ID. That gets you into the movie theater like 10% off. That's all it really did for me ever. But it's not something you give to a cop. This is my identification. Especially when you can change your name and be some other name on the identification. That doesn't make you legally that name. I don't think she understands that. But, you have a driver's license if you're driving on the road. And that's your identification if you get pulled over driving. There's nothing else. Not even need for a passport at that point.
Okay, so again,
You have those items in the
time I cannot proceed without Erica Bowie actually being in the courtroom and stating your name for the record as Erica Bowie. Erica Bowie is the person on my docket. Erica Bowie needs to be the person and or an attorney who represents Erica Bowie.
Well, for the record, Your Honor, I am the beneficiary of Erica Bowie.
Without Erica Bowie being in the courtroom, I cannot proceed.
Well, that's that's not by my lack of. That's because that's what you choose to do. But I have sent all that information into my docket, and it should all be at your.
Okay, and it's being based on the court rules.
I'm sorry, you're talking, but I can't hear anything.
See, the judge said it clearly. It's based on the court rules. It's not the rules that judge come up with. Those are the rules that all courts go by, at least in the United States.
To show you who I am, it states it all. It states all of it.
I'm about to get on record. May it please His Honorable Court, Dante Goss, P60162, on behalf of the people. Your Honor, for someone to represent another person in the courtroom, there must be a licensed attorney from the state of Michigan. Personal representatives, beneficiaries, or any things of that nature are not allowed by court rules. So we need the actual defendant to appear.
In most states, you need, if someone's going to cover for you, represent you in court, they have to be a barred attorney. They can't, and when you're claiming that you're representing yourself, then you can represent yourself. But if you're claiming that you're there on behalf of the person who you are, if that makes any sense, because it doesn't, but you can't represent yourself as not being yourself. You still have to be your full legal name to represent yourself. So to try to make it as if there's two different people, you and the person representing yourself, the person representing yourself has to be a licensed attorney. So if you're not a licensed attorney, you can't represent yourself as somebody that, you know, it's hard to explain, but you know how it is.
Well, me stating to you all that I am Erica Bowie will put me in your jurisdiction, and I am not in your jurisdiction, and I've sent all documentation stating that.
You are in her jurisdiction because you got pulled over by the police in her jurisdiction, in that court's jurisdiction. So you can say that you're not under their jurisdiction as long as you want until you're blue in the face. It isn't going to matter because reality is one thing and your delusions is something else.
You may not be from Miss Erica Bowie is, and so I will issue a habeas on Erica Bowie at this time.
But once again, Your Honor, Erica Bowie is stating, Erica Bowie has stated that she is no longer. She has a new identity, new jurisdiction that she is a part of. I'm from the Catawba Nation.
Native American, just like anybody else in America, gets in trouble just like all of us. And sometimes Native Americans have to go through court and have to follow procedures and use their legal name. Being part of a tribe does not make them immune from the law. So you and your Kapow tribe, if that's an actual tribe that you joined, I don't really know anything about it, so I'm not going to speculate at what it is. But regardless, if you join any organization, join a church group, or join a religious order, or anything like that, that does not make you immune from the courts or the laws like it does everybody else. It doesn't make you above the law or outside the law. It just doesn't work that way.
And I am a part of League of Indian Nation of North America. I have a right to pertain to my family business. I have a right to see to it that my children's needs are made.
The way you see to your children's needs are made or your family's taken care of is by following the laws. If you're going to drive on the road, you need a driver's license, you need license plates, and you need insurance. If you don't have those, then take a bus or get a cab. You don't have the right to break the law and hide behind your children.
Anything pertaining to my family, sustainability, and upliftment, I have a right to see to that. And the police officer saw that I was pertaining to my family right.
I don't get this pertaining to your family right. You have a family right to drive without a license, drive without plates and insurance. That one just, that baffles me.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I was on mute so that my court clerk could answer the call, and I did not. I wanted there to be a very clear record. And I've stated once, and I'm going to say for a final time, if Erica Bowie is not in the courtroom pursuant to the court rules, and there is no attorney representing Erica Bowie in this courtroom or on this court Zoom at this time. Driving in the state of Michigan without a driver's license is an offense at the time that the officer pulled this person over. Therefore, as a habeas, a warrant will be issued on behalf of Erica Bowie. That concludes this matter, Madam Court Reporter.
Well, Judge, I object. I object.
You can object all you want. All you simply had to do was just state that that was your name. That that's your legal name. It may not be the name you go by, whatever group you belong to, but that is your name. Until you get it legally changed, that is your name. And that's all you had to do was say, yes, I'm that person. That's it. And you drug this out for however long, because I cut out big portions of this. You know, for what reason? Because you refused to give your name? And if you refuse to give your name, then you're guilty of failure to appear. Even if the judge knows you, even if the judge knew you your whole life and knew you as a little girl all the way to your adulthood, and you're in there in court saying, refusing to acknowledge who you are, then the judge has every right to give you failure to appear. If I was a judge, I would give you failure to appear and close the whole case long before. This judge has a lot of patience. That's probably why I'm not a judge.
I object. I sent in all my paperwork to sustain what it is that I'm sharing with you this morning. I object to your calling. I object to your ruling.
You have the right to appeal. That concludes this matter, this hearing for today. You have a good day, ma'am.
And I know, Judge, that this is not something that you don't know of. I have all my documentations to back up everything that I'm stating.
She has all the documentation. These are the documentations that these sovereign citizen clowns, they're basically Lowell's cows. They're just not well-known Lowell's cows. But they fall for this sovereign citizen bullshit. And then they download these and print up these forms. They carry them with them everywhere they go. They try to hand them to the police. They submit them to the courts. They're meaningless documents. I mean, the Sovcit gurus promise them that they'll win in court if they use this, and they pay to get these documents and pay to get this, go to these seminars from these charlatans that just go from town to town, just stirring up trouble and making sovereign citizens. I know because I've been involved with people who were sovereign citizens. I was never a sovereign citizen myself, but I do know the many people who did end up being sovereign citizens. I know what kind of people are attracted to that, and I should do a video on my experience with them. But nonetheless, the biggest point is the whole procedure was just over the very first thing, state your name for the court, and ended up, you know, wasting the court's time. And all those people who were on the docket after her had to wait an extended period of time. A lot of people take time off from work, time off from their businesses, close their businesses so they can go to court, only to have some idiot like this delay the courts and you know, ruin other people's days for nothing. They're guilty of driving without a driver's license. They're not going to get out of that, okay? You have to have a driver's license to drive, regardless if it's a commercial vehicle or not. And they're fed this bullshit, and when they're faced with the truth, they just try to go back on more bullshit, and it never works out for them. If you want to be free in this country, it's not a bunch of Sovcit bullshit that's going to make you free. What makes you free is to free yourself of involvement with the police. You know, I haven't talked to a cop. I did get a warning one time about a little over a year ago. I was speeding outside of Clayton, Georgia, because I thought I was on the highway. I was still in the city limits. I didn't realize it then. The cop pulled me over. I explained it to him, and he let me go with a warning. And that was the only contact I had with the police. I avoid contact with the police. I avoid doing anything that's going to attract the police. That's how you stay free. You stay out of the system. Doing the Sovcit stuff puts you in the system. Because once you get pulled over, you're going to be in the system. Okay, you pull that Sovcit thing, you're going to be in the system. It's going to take you years to get out of that system. The best way to stay free is to avoid being part of that system. And the way to avoid to be part of that system is not to draw attention to yourself by having fake plates, or when you get pulled over to be an asshole to the cop to make things worse for yourself. And to go into court with a bunch of ridiculous notions. If you're not a lawyer, you don't know how procedures work, then hire a lawyer. If you want to represent yourself, there's an old saying, a fool has a self for a client, and that's true. I don't go to court. I haven't been in a courtroom in 15, 16 years, and I don't plan on going to one anytime soon. So, if you just, a soft citizen listens, it's not going to listen to anything anyway. They have their mind made up. So, anyway, you guys will have a good day and a better tomorrow.